Michael Carter Williams. Beautiful drive to the bucket.
Carter Williams. Nice. Wow, what a finish. MCW.
There's something beautiful about the unknown. Every draft class comes with a mystery. That one player who's not supposed to be the best, but just might be. In 2013, that was Michael Carter Williams. He wasn't the #1 pick, he wasn't the viral high school prodigy, he wasn't even a projected all-star. But on October 30th, 2013, he walked into an arena packed with Heat fans and torched the defending champions in his first NBA game. 22 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds, 9 steals. A near quadruple double against LeBron James. And by the end of the season, he was Rookie of the Year. Over Giannis, over Oladipo, over everyone. And then, he vanished. Not literally. He bounced from team to team, Bucks, Bulls, Hornets, Magic. But the promise, the spotlight, gone. No injury destroyed his career, no scandal ended it, no final game marked the fall, he just faded. And what makes MCW's story so heartbreaking is that no one really noticed. He did everything right. He showed up, he worked, he battled injuries, bought into roles, and became a veteran, but he never got his second chance. Not as a starter, not as a leader, not as the player we once thought he could be. This is a story about what happens when the league moves on too fast, and the players left behind have to figure out who they are without it. Because Michael Carter Williams didn't just disappear, he was erased. But before all of that, before the Miami game, before the trophy, before the fall, there was a skinny kid from Massachusetts. Too quiet, too tall, too raw, trying to prove he belonged. Let's go back to where it started. Michael Carter Williams wasn't built in a lab. He wasn't a YouTube phenom or the next big thing by 14. In a world obsessed with prodigies, Michael was almost invisible. At Hamilton Wenham Regional High School in Massachusetts, he looked more like a chess club captain than a basketball star. Skinny, quiet, barely recruited. He averaged 20 points a game, but nobody cared. The spotlight belonged to louder players, flashier players. But what they didn't see was the growth, literally. By his junior year, he shot up to 6'5". His feel for the game sharpened. He wasn't just tall, he was different. He transferred to St. Andrews, a small prep powerhouse, to chase real competition. He became a point guard who thought like a quarterback. Still, scouts hesitated. They questioned his shot, his strength, his speed. They labeled him raw, streaky, too passive. But Syracuse saw the upside. Jim Boeheim believed in patience, and in the kind of length and instincts you can't teach. At Syracuse, he barely touched the floor as a freshman. Michael stayed. He built himself in the dark, and by his sophomore year, he was about to break into the light. The 2013 NBA draft wasn't supposed to be Michael Carter Williams' moment. This was the draft of Nerlens Noel, Victor Oladipo, Ben McLemore. The can't-miss guards were supposed to go early. The raw projects, like MCW, were supposed to wait their turn. Mock drafts pegged him late in the lottery at best. Some scouts still saw him as a second-round risk. Too turnover-prone, no jump shot, skinny frame. But the Philadelphia 76ers saw something different. They weren't chasing safe picks. They were chasing upside. They were blowing up the last pieces of the Allen Iverson era, rebuilding from scratch. And they wanted a centerpiece. A 6'6" point guard with court vision you couldn't teach, wingspan for days, and the ability to change the game defensively. So at the 11th overall pick, Philadelphia took the leap. And for Michael, it was pure vindication. The kid nobody believed in, the kid who sat through a freshman year on the bench, was now the face of one of the NBA's most desperate franchises. But nobody, not even MCW himself, could predict what would happen next. Because from the moment he stepped on an NBA court, he wasn't just good, he was historic. October 30th, 2013, season opener. Philadelphia 76ers versus Miami Heat, the defending champions. LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. 3 future Hall of Famers against a team no one gave a chance, especially not their rookie point guard. Michael Carter Williams' first NBA game wasn't supposed to be memorable. It was supposed to be survival. Instead, he made history. 22 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds, 9 steals. Almost a quadruple-double in his first professional game against the best team on the planet. He picked off passing lanes like a veteran cornerback. He threaded no-look passes through defenders. He blew by future all-defensive guards like they were standing still. The 76ers stunned the Heat, and Michael, he stunned the league. He was named Eastern Conference Player of the Week after his first 4 games, something no rookie had done since Shaquille O'Neal. Overnight, he went from draft question mark to franchise savior. The comparisons flooded in. Next Penny Hardaway, taller Rajon Rondo, a better passing Tyreke Evans. In Philly, they finally had something to believe in again. Michael Carter Williams didn't just arrive, he announced himself. And for a moment, it felt like the start of something legendary. But as you'll see, not all great stories are meant to last. The magic didn't fade after opening night. Through injuries, roster chaos, and nightly double teams, Michael Carter Williams kept producing. He finished his rookie season averaging 16.7 points, 6.2 rebounds, 6.3 assists, and 1.9 steals, all while playing major minutes on a Sixers team that asked him to do everything. He wasn't just surviving, he was standing out. He racked up triple-doubles, he outplayed veterans, he became the heartbeat of a rebuilding franchise desperate for an identity. And when the dust settled, Michael Carter Williams was named the 2014 NBA Rookie of the Year. Over Victor Oladipo, over Giannis Antetokounmpo, over every single name you recognize today. This wasn't just about numbers, it was about a player who fought through doubt, who proved he belonged. He was supposed to be a project. Instead, he became a phenomenon. But behind the scenes, not everyone was convinced. His shooting percentages were shaky. His turnovers were high. His fit in the modern NBA wasn't clean. And inside the Sixers front office, the whispers had already started. February 19th, 2015. At the NBA trade deadline, the unthinkable happened. The Philadelphia 76ers traded him away. Mid-season, without warning, he was gone. MCW was shipped to the Milwaukee Bucks in a 3-team deal. Philly's front office, led by Sam Hinkie, was deep into the process, a radical rebuild strategy focused entirely on draft picks and future assets. And MCW, for all his promise, wasn't part of the long-term plan. He found out about the trade through the media. No heads up, no goodbyes. One moment he was the Rookie of the Year, next he was an expendable asset. For a young player still finding his footing, it was a gut punch. And even worse, Milwaukee wasn't Philadelphia. The ball wasn't his anymore. The offense wasn't built around him. The freedom he had as a rookie evaporated overnight. It wasn't just a trade. It was a rerouting of his entire career, and it marked the beginning of a slow, painful fade from the spotlight. In Milwaukee, Michael Carter Williams had to adapt fast. Gone were the endless touches and green light. Here, he had to fit into a system, and that's where the cracks started to show. Without the ball in his hands constantly, MCW's weaknesses became impossible to hide. His jumper was always a concern. Teams dared him to shoot, clogging driving lanes. His turnover issues didn't improve. And worst of all, the injuries began creeping in. First, it was minor. An ankle sprain here, a sore hip there, then more serious. A torn labrum in his hip required surgery, ending his 2015-16 season early. The Bucks, like the 76ers before them, moved on quickly. They traded him to Chicago after just one full season. From there, it was a pattern. Short contracts, bench roles, injuries, waivers. Michael Carter Williams went from Rookie of the Year to journeyman. And the player who once stood atop his draft class was suddenly fighting just to stay in the league. But even through it all, he never stopped believing there was more left in the tank. After Milwaukee, Michael Carter-Williams became a basketball nomad. Chicago gave him a shot first, a one-year audition with the Bulls. He showed flashes, especially defensively, but the fit never clicked. The offense was clogged. His jumper was shaky. His role was inconsistent. By the end of the season, Chicago let him walk. Next stop, Charlotte. The Hornets signed MCW hoping for a backup spark behind Kemba Walker. Instead, more injuries. A torn labrum in his shoulder this time, requiring season-ending surgery. Then it was Houston. The Rockets brought him in to back up Chris Paul and James Harden. But in Mike D'Antoni's three-point heavy system, MCW's weaknesses were glaring. He played just 16 games before being traded and quickly waived. After that, Orlando. The Magic, a young rebuilding team, gave him a late-season chance in 2019, and here, at last, Carter-Williams found a sliver of a role. A gritty, defensive-minded backup guard. He helped the Magic reach the playoffs and earned another contract extension. But the Magic, the belief he could ever reclaim his Rookie of the Year form, was gone. The league had redefined itself, and players like Michael Carter-Williams, guards who couldn't shoot consistently, had no margin for error. Still, he refused to quit, and while the headlines disappeared, the fight inside him never did. While the league moved on from Michael Carter-Williams, he stayed ready. He didn't complain, he didn't make excuses, he adapted. In Orlando, MCW became something he had never been before, a veteran. He mentored Markelle Fultz, another #1 pick haunted by injuries and expectations. He became a voice in the locker room, a tone setter on defense, a player who still made an impact even without stuffing the stat sheet. No more Rookie of the Year buzz, no more nightly highlights, but real respect. Teammates trusted him, coaches leaned on him. He wasn't the future anymore, but he wasn't forgotten by the people who mattered inside those locker rooms. It wasn't the story he once imagined, but it was a story worth telling. Because in a league obsessed with superstars and stats, Michael Carter-Williams found value just by showing up. And sometimes, that's the harder battle to win. So, what happened? How does a Rookie of the Year go from the top of the league to out of the rotation? The answer isn't simple. Part of it was the evolution of the game. By 2015, the NBA was transforming. Spacing, shooting, positionless basketball. Guards who couldn't stretch the floor were liabilities. And MCW shooting, just 25% from 3 in his career, never caught up. Part of it was injuries. Multiple surgeries sapped his explosiveness, his lateral quickness, his confidence. Part of it was timing. If MCW had entered the league 10 years earlier in the early 2000s, he might have thrived as a big slashing point guard who bullied smaller matchups. Instead, he was caught in the NBA's fastest revolution, and he never found the right role at the right time. It wasn't a lack of talent, it wasn't a lack of work, it was a game that passed him by faster than anyone could have predicted. Michael Carter-Williams didn't fail. He adapted, he battled, he lasted longer than anyone thought he would. He just didn't last the way we imagined. He came into the league at the wrong time, in the wrong system, with the wrong flaws for a league changing faster than anyone could adjust. He didn't crash and burn. He faded, quietly, humbly, relentlessly. And in that, there's something almost more impressive than winning awards or making all-star teams. Because it's easy to believe in yourself when everyone else does. It's a lot harder when nobody's watching. Michael Carter-Williams might not be remembered the way a Rookie of the Year should be, but if you look closely, you'll see a story that was never about fame or fortune. It was about resilience. And sometimes, in a league that moves too fast for even its brightest rookies, that's the rarest victory of all.